quite, but it's the school of life that taught me death prevention. That's why I barely panic when the hammers they be blamming. No mechanics, but they snuck inside the party with the wrenches.
Okay, we trying this for what, the 15th time? Yeah, man, it's all right. It's all right. The audio's still going. I see it going on. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Kevin with a whole lot in that podcast. You know what I do always. Y'all know what I deal with all the time. I'm always dealing with some type of audio issue, but you know, we're gonna work that out. You know, I got a special guest in the building. Got Mr. Charles. How you doing today, big dog?
What's happening?
I didn't want to mess up the last name. So you want to get him your full name and tell everybody who you are.
Well, my name is Charles Mateen Hassan, aka Stock Market Charlie, aka the Hound of 317.
How you doing today?
Hey, I'm blessed, brother. I'm blessed.
Now y'all see that you you said the Stock Market Charlie.
Stock Market Charlie, man. That's what I'm into. So I teach investing, and I just released a course on investing. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Smart Investing. So it's teaching people how to get into the stock market and just learning everything from A to Z. That's why I created it.
What's for getting into stocks? What's everybody's major mistake that they make doing and being in the stock market?
I would say listening to what other people got to say instead of doing their own necessary research and just tapping into the information on their own.
So you think that's a major problem? Is not doing research?
Yeah, not doing the research.
Cause I did the Dogecoin for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
that was my entryway into the stock market, was doing Dogecoin. So, anything wrong with jumping in and starting in it that way?
I would say if you didn't do the necessary research on it in the beginning, that could be the wrong way of going about it. I always advise people, when you're wanting to get into the stock market, start off with a ETF. So an ETF pretty much is called an exchange traded fund. And from there, an ETF may hold up to 40 to maybe 60, sometimes even 90 different stocks. So it's well diversified. And through the ETF, you can research the stocks that's within that ETF and just gain information from them, learning how their movements during the day, and just gathering as much data and information just from the stocks within the ETF that you buy. So that's a good way to get started.
With the stock market game.
Yep.
And you know, I call it a game. You know, everything. I see the trends. Everything's up and down. You know, you got no one to jump in. You got no one to play.
Exactly.
You got no one to sit down. You know, sell everything off. My biggest thing is, you know, right now is I'm looking at the stock market right now, and you know, I am going to get to the point of ask you know more about yourself and why you do what you do. But you know, I'm just looking for relevancy right now as far as buying and selling stocks with Donald Trump and all these tariffs. Is it a good time to buy stocks, or should everybody sell off?
Right now, it is a good time to buy stocks. And the reason why I say that, everything is at a 20% or more dip price, and it's at a bargain price. So when you move into the market when it's had that much pullback, that means what had went down is going to come back up. So it's definitely a good time to get in right now.
And I look at when the stock market is, when they go back up, it always go back up like at least twofold.
Yep.
It always jumps back up. Because that's when everybody want to go in and buy. So, You know, more about you is what really got you into stocks, and then how can stocks be more? Well, let's start off with what got you into stocks.
Well, I got into stocks about 3 years ago. Through my job, they had a IRA, a Roth IRA, and I just did a little research on what that was. So through that research, it took me to learning more about stocks, individual stocks, and things of that nature. So I opened a Fidelity account, a brokerage account, and I started purchasing stocks on my own.
Okay.
So that's how I really got into it.
Okay. What? How can us, us African Americans, how can we start to get better into, investing in stocks, like teaching our kids into stocks. I have kids in there.
Yeah.
So teaching our kids about stocks and, helping build our wealth through the stock market. 'Cause, we're always told to put money into a savings account, but should it be a thing where if I'm saving, if I'm putting $100 a month in a savings account, should I at least put like 25 of that 100 into the stock market and then the rest into the savings account?
Well, I'll say this. Even though I have a savings account, which to me that's just an emergency fund in case everything else fails. But the thing about it is, with a savings and a checking account, the APY on it, you're not going to beat inflation with that. And what I mean,
0.1%.
yeah, the reason why I say invest into the stock market, you can just get a simple ETF like the VOO and put whatever you want to put towards that, and I guarantee you it's going to outpace inflation every year. Whether the stock market is up or down, it's always going to beat out a savings or a checking account.
And when you said ETF, what is an ETF?
Exchange traded fund, and pretty much it covers a sector of the stock market, or it could also just cover a certain amount of stocks. Like there's an ETF for weed.
Okay.
There's a ETF if you just want to get all technology stocks.
Okay.
So you get what I'm saying? It's
And then is it for that fund to dive? Is it for that fund? Do we go through a fund or do like an app or somewhere? Because I'm trying to see like if I don't want to pay people. I'm cheap. So sometimes we got to pay people.
Yeah.
But me, I'm a little cheap. I want to save my money. Stop that computer. But I would like to just put the money out there and watch it grow.
Yeah.
But then I don't want to be penalized for taking my money out.
That's why I say just getting a good ETF, whether it's the QQQ, whether it's the VOO. The VOO, I'm gonna explain what that is. That is a ETF that covers the whole S&P 500.
Okay.
So it's gonna have the top 500 stocks that's within the S&P, and is operating like an index fund. So however the S&P moves, that's how that ETF is gonna move.
Okay, so it's better, like you just said. Y'all heard what he said, everybody. It's better if y'all put y'all money in that stock market and watch it grow.
Just watch it grow.
Watch it grow. Now, has there ever been times where you put money in stocks and you just like, damn, I lost big?
Oh yeah, that comes with the game. Like when I first originally got into investing, even though I had conducted all the research that I wanted to learn about, even though I did, like I say, just research, a lot of reading and investigation, you still go into the stock market kind of blind because look at what happened yesterday. The markets went on a rally and everything had just jumped back up high after Donald Trump announced that he's going to do a 90-day pause on the tariffs. Then you look at the stock market today, I was up 7.6% yesterday.
Okay.
Today I'm down already like 4.4%. So a lot of that's been erased, the profits that were made yesterday. But as you get seasoned in this game, you gain knowledge such as knowing what a dead cat bounce is and knowing what a bear trap is. A bear trap is when the market will move a certain way because they know people are going to start buying stocks. But then what a lot of people don't realize is going to be another pullback. So
everything's going to drop back
it's
down.
going to be a drop. So you just got to have that technical analysis. And when I mentioned the dead cat bounce, that's pretty much knowing when to move into the market and get that stock at the right price. And if you're going to sell it during that day, moving out of it at the right time as well.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So me, because I want to get into the stock market. Actually, I got to fix that. I want to go into the stock market because I really feel like that's a great way. Like you just said, I don't want to depend on putting $25 in a bucket every month, or every week every time I get paid, and then just be like watch it grow. Like you say, like I just said, 0.01% over the year, and interest rates is inflation is what 2-3%. My money's not growing. At that point, I'm losing money.
Money.
I would love to put it into stocks, and then as someone who doesn't know anything about the stock market, why should we reach out to you and and invest in time with you and do your resources?
It's like you asked me earlier. what should people know? First, you have to know financial literacy. So that's anybody that reaches out to me and wants to learn things. The first thing I ask them, where is their financial literacy? How are you spending money? Are you uh, keeping a log of the inflows and the outflows of your paycheck? If
Okay.
a person isn't aligned like on that level yet, I tell them to get that in order and then reach back out to me in a month because you need to know, like I say, how much money's coming in, how much going out. From there, we can base it off how much you want to invest.
Okay. Okay.
So
And how much should the person invest?
I would say
And like a percentage wise.
I started out with 15% weekly. I
Okay.
would take 15% of my check and I would invest it into the stock market every week.
Okay.
But as time went on, we were in a bull market at that time. A bull market is when the market is just climbing at a rapid rate. I seen how certain stocks like Nvidia,
Yep.
Google, those Mag 7 stocks, Tesla. So I just started contributing more. At one point, I was putting 70% of my check into the stock market.
Damn, that's a lot.
So,
That's living off of 30%. That's a lot.
yeah, but
That's a lot.
I get a little military check. I was in the military also.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that helped me out, balance things out.
Okay, so you know the government helping you out get it to your goal of financial freedom, because you know that's what we all want is a little bit of financial freedom.
Yes, sir.
And I just feel like the stock market. I feel like it's a crazy game. Right? You know, I don't know anything about the stock market, and you know my literacy is on stocks. My financial literacy is a little bit. I got a little bit of financial literacy. Like
Mhm.
I understand like the 60-30-10 rule.
That's out the window now. Yeah,
It's,
that's
the 60-30-10 rule. But my
Yeah.
whole thing is everybody, for the most part, all Americans are living check to check. So how can it be a 60-30-10 rule when we live in check to check? Like
for real, man.
at what point you just, and then like you said, everything is going up so high. Like it's like overnight the cost of rent,
Yeah,
mortgages to get a house that tripled or doubled or tripled overnight. Once COVID hit and everybody got that free money, housing market went up in groceries.
they didn't do the right thing with it. And what had happened is now, we're faced with the tariffs.
Yes.
And from that, a lot of people didn't realize that the correction was about to happen in the stock market. Even though the tariff situation is going on right now, the catalyst of what's happening in the stock market right now is the correction. Meaning because from 2022 up until the beginning of 2025, things have ran up so high. So now the pullback is happening because people are trying to find value back into stocks. So when stocks are overpriced, nobody's going to buy them. So they have to do a correction. And that's what's happening now. On top of that, we have interest rates.
Yep.
And then to kill it, we now have this tariff stuff that's going on. So all three of these things, they're happening at the same time. And this is what happened during the 1929 depression. Everything was overvalued. You had at that time, the world was evolving so quickly, and just like now we have AI. Once that bubble bursts, because that's where the majority of people is putting their money into technology stocks, the Nasdaq. Once that bubble bursts, people don't realize the effect it also has on the other stocks.
Okay.
So
'Cause I noticed you got the Nasdaq. Is it the S&P
and the Dow Jones.
and the Dow Jones?
Yup.
So you think the Nasdaq is about to you think it's about to pop? That bubble about to pop?
I would say because there's so much more to come in AI, it's going to eventually pop, but within like the next 5 years, I don't see it.
Okay.
I
okay.
really don't see it.
And then because I'm not nervous because I when I see like all the tariffs and the stocks dropping, I'm like, shoot, it's the time to buy. Like
It's the time to buy.
It's the time to
man.
buy
It's the
stocks.
time to buy.
I don't know what stock to buy, but what I'm thinking about doing is, I use and you may have you may have some referrals, but
Mhm.
our recommendation is better to say. I use Robinhood.
Robinhood.
So I'm thinking about just starting to have like, hey, every week $25 just go to some type of stock just to get stock.
And I put in my phone because I had a feeling you was gonna ask like what would I recommend people put if they new to the stock market and wanting to get in. There's right now, if people been noticing, you have Elon Musk.
Yeah.
If you know he's doing a lot of space stuff. Then Jeff Bezos, he's putting a lot of money into that. That's the guy that owns Amazon.
Yep.
So things like that catch my attention. Why are they wanting to put this amount of money into that? So it caught my attention. And like Elon Musk said, I think he said by 2040, he's going to be sending people to space to Mars. So
you got to have money for that.
You got to have money
for that.
You got to
have money for that.
So a company that I know that's going to do well from this, I've already done the research. It's called Rocket Lab. The ticker symbol is RKLB. Then I have another ETF. It's called the IBIT, IBIT. That's the ETF for that. It tracks what's happening with Bitcoin.
Okay.
And last year, that's the stock that I made the most money from when I took profits. November 5th, when the market had ran up, I cashed it in and I gained some serious profits.
Okay.
Also, the TCAF, that's the T. Rowe Capital Appreciation Fund. It tracks a lot of different sectors all in one, but they also have the top stocks that's gaining the most money. And then my last one would be Advanced Micro Devices, AMD.
Okay.
These are companies that I've already done the research. These are ETFs that I've done the evaluation. And I just personally feel they're going to continue to do great because of the stocks that's within them. Like I know the Capital Appreciation Fund, whether the market is up or down, consumer goods are always going to sell, meaning toilet paper, toothpaste, the everyday goods that we buy. And the Capital Appreciation Fund, the TCAF, it has all those type of stocks in it. So it's going to perform good no matter what.
So do you think, and it is probably my last question about the stocks, maybe not, I don't know. Do you
Let's
think,
teach them. Let's teach them.
Do you think that's going to drop though? Like with everything coming from China?
Oh yeah, that's the thing about it.
And that's why you say buy it now.
Yeah, buy it now because even though he put the 90-day pause on tariffs, the thing about the stock market, things are already priced in. So once he announced that yesterday,
it was already
the stock market. That's yesterday's news. What's about to happen ahead?
Okay.
And right now, next week starts the new earnings. So all the top companies, they're about to start reporting their earnings, as well as they're going to be announcing their plans going forward, since we're possibly in a recession, since this tariff stuff. So depending on what they all start saying in these earnings meetings, it's going to determine how the stock moves up or down. There's going to be a lot of information that these CEOs are about to drop.
Because it was it this past weekend, it was just dropping.
Oh, yeah.
It was dropping. And then China, like, hey, what type of war you want? Like, what war you want? We going to do a tariff war? We can do it.
Yeah,
There's a tariff war right now. Hopefully that don't escalate, though. Like, I don't think that it will, but
yeah. And
everything's made in China.
Yep, and a tariff war is never good for anybody because what happens is the people, the consumers, us.
Yes, the
people that buy the stuff, we're the most affected because the price of everything goes up. Now, the people that has the money, the people that's lobbying, the people that's putting money into the market, investing, they get the benefit off of it because with Trump, he's manipulating the market right now.
Yep.
He's getting it to where all these rich people, they can get it at a cheap price. That's why I say financial literacy, especially for black folks, pay attention to what's going on. If you ain't went through all your tax return, if you still got a little money, put that in the market and just watch what it do once that bull market returns.
Because they all gonna come in and buy, because it had a nice recovery. Was it? You said the recovery was 2 days ago, but then you said it dropped back down. But You still made a three. Well, you said if you said it went up 7%, then it did back down up 4.
Yeah, yesterday when the market closed, I was at 7.9% my overall portfolio. Then when I looked at it before we started the interview, I noticed the market had tanked. Today is pulling back. So I've lost over 4%. So
But overall, your probably net is right around 3%.
hmm
So you still made 3% profit. So I feel like I rather take one small step forward than either sit still or watch or get left, like or
Exactly.
take a step back.
hmm
Because you don't realize, like, you know, like, well, we don't realize what inflation is. If we just standing still, you know, some jobs don't give you a raise based on inflation. They just may give you a 25% raise for being a great employee. That's not inflation.
And
That's not matching inflation. Like my job, the job I work at, they do quote unquote give us inflation based raise. So if inflation is at from last year, this year was at 3%, they'll give us a 3% raise. So I do love my job for that. Is they do say we're going to give you a nice raise based on inflation.
Yeah, that's good. But some people jobs like you, they don't do that. So getting into the stock market, that's why I try to get more people involved to first let them know that it's going to outpace inflation. Then on top of that, you got to look at compounding interest.
Yeah.
Once you put money into the market, and if you a buy and hold investor, you let it sit for 10 years, not only is the stock going up in that 10 years, compounding interest is also taking effect, meaning every year your money is compounding. It's getting bigger and bigger. Then say if you have a stock where it pays dividends also, you're also getting those dividend payments, those fractional shares, meaning your money is working 2, 3, 4 times as hard for you because every month you're getting a reinvestment back into those dividends, and this is building a whole nother stock.
And then if you constantly continue to add money into
it's just
continue to add money to that, it's just growing and growing and growing. And you know, a lot of us, you know, we're the microwave generation. You know, you know everything pops up in the microwave. We just expect it to be right.
Yeah.
With the stock market, you can't do that. You gotta watch it grow. You gotta let it bake. You gotta let it just sit in the oven for about 2 hours. You can just let it get that good season and let it season.
It's a patience man's game. It's a patient man's and woman's game. You gotta have patience, and you gotta go into it with the mindset of buy and hold. That's why I say do the research, know what stocks you want. Your everyday goods that you may use right now, you know that people are buying a lot of that. Go on and research what that company does. Look up their ticker symbol. And if you want to invest in them, invest in it. But like I said, if you want to take it to the next level, then I would say learn from guys like me that has the knowledge, that already has a course out, that has a book that can actually teach you everything proper from A to Z.
And then that would be like the like your website is called the Black Investors Coalition.org.
Yes, sir.
And then, you know, tell us more about that.
Well, I designed the website primarily because, like I said, that's where my book, that's where my products are, and that's where my course is. So anybody that's wanting to access that, that's the only purpose for the website. But where I give the true knowledge is on my Facebook and then on my YouTube channel. You can find me on YouTube just at Stock Market Charlie, and then on Facebook just as my name, Charles Mateen Hassan 2025. But I post the videos every day.
Okay.
I write articles. I do all that just to keep people informed, not only with the stock market, not only with the economy, but also how to start a business, because I just launched my business. So, you know, I got knowledge in every way. That's why I say financial literacy is key, man. It's key.
It's the key, and I feel like that's what holds us.
That's what holds us back.
Hold us back. And you know, I'm always big on race up. Everything's black and white. Everything's black and white. But I look with the finance game. I think it's deeper than black and white, and I look at it's a classism thing.
Yeah.
Where it's more of the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poor because money's green. I mean, in the stock game, white people are going to help out the white people. Then you got the black people want to stick with the white people that's already got the money. But I just feel like the war right now, it's a small racism war, but everything's all about class and it's about getting rich. And I think Donald Trump has did a great job of with his base is showing these poor white folk that they better than us black folk, and that's not the case. And as far as us black folk, we need to start getting more into the stock market and showing that and teaching our kids about stocks and credit, because them are ways to help us build financial freedom. Financial freedom and financial freedom doesn't mean we're going to be rich. We all not going. Some of us are. So having a 9-to-5 is a great thing to have.
Exactly.
But it's all about letting your 9-to-5 make money elsewhere. Exactly. Having that slight residual income coming in, because like I said, if you go out here and once a week, or I get paid once a week. So I say once a week. Once a week, I take $25 and just that's fast food money. I'm not gonna buy some Panda Express this week and just put it in the stock market and then watch it grow over a course of even a year. You do that Christmas time. I got kids. Yep. Let me take something out and buy some Christmas with it.
And that whole time, that money, like I say, it's not only is it growing with the stock market, but you're gaining those gains as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's the good thing about that. And as you mentioned, man, the financial literacy aspect, the problem with the African American race, if you look at the world as a whole, we don't own anything. That's the main problem. So white people, other races, Asians, Arabics, look at the Arabics, they own all. Look at Italians, the things that they own. Look at just other races. Then when you look at the African Americans, we don't own nothing. So what happens is situations like now when these tariffs are affecting the country, those other races, they're able to go to Washington and lobby.
Yep.
We really don't have lobbyists. We really don't have a lot of people that's informed in those type of subjects. So like you said, financial literacy, when you know how to navigate, when you know how to research, when you know how to gather information, you can lobby for yourself. So that's what's holding us back, man. We don't own anything.
But do you think they want us to know? Because I look at all these, like even like the town hall meetings or just the local senators and all that, they had these meetings. They always have it like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah,
most of us are at work at that time.
Like you say, they don't want us to know. How many black folks go to neighborhood associating meetings?
Nah, I never been to one.
I do that.
I never been to one. I ain't gonna lie.
Town hall meetings, all those. This is where you find out the information. What's going on in your neighborhood? What new developments are coming? That's why I say our race, man, overall, is so geared towards entertainment. And that's where they trapped us at. Like, we also depend on a lot of financial assistance. So if you go back in time in the 60s, you had brothers that had great jobs working at foundries, working at steel mills, place like that. And the white man got to saying, hey man, these brothers, they making too much money.
Yep.
So then they came with well, now in order to keep the job, you gotta have a degree in this.
Yep.
So that slashed the black man out of a lot of good paying jobs. And then that made the woman go get financial assistance. And in order to get that financial assistance, you couldn't have a man in the household. So this welfare system, it's been designed to keep us down, just always down and without. People just got to get out of that. You got to get in a minimalist mindset and take 3 years of yourself, develop a plan to get out of that and start doing things on your own. Don't focus on what the government can do. And that's the problem with the black folks. We depend on them too much. We got to do like the other races and develop our own plan, because they don't want us knowing about cryptocurrency. They don't want us knowing about estate planning. They don't want us knowing about generational wealth building out of stock market. They want us to know about entertainment and foolishness. But if we can open our minds to learn, we can go places, man. That's how I feel. Real talk.
And then a lot of times they hide it in plain sight.
Plain sight, like
Because
you
I remember I used to go to when Bitcoin was like $100, even less than $100. I would see certain liquor stores and gas stations having the Bitcoin sign.
Yep.
Easy, right in our faces. The place that we all go, and you walking right past that Bitcoin sign to go buy a bottle, and you could have put $100 in there. Now that $100 you put in there just to see, hey, I don't know what this. Let me just see what this Bitcoin is. Now it's what $70,000, $80,000, $90,000.
Think like last I checked, like 84,000. So like you said, if you would have bought it at $100 back in 2012, took that chance and invested in yourself, $100, your $100 now would be 86,000. So imagine if you put 1,000 or 5,000, how much that would be now.
Just imagine.
Hey,
we need some more. This may sound wild as hell. We need some of the neighborhood D-boys to start just going in the stock market and start buying back our communities. Like, and that sounds wild as hell to say, but it's the truth.
Buy back your time. That's what the stock market do. It buys back your time. You can put money into it and let it do what it do. Like I'm telling y'all, right now, Trump even said it himself. He said, if you want to make your money work 3, 4, even 10 times, it's hard for you right now. Get into the stock market. He said he's not changing no policy. He actually wants, that's why I say the wealthy work for each other. He wants the market to go down.
Take it all buy back up.
This is another thing I got to point out too. Baby boomers, they're all retiring. They're old now. They have all this money that they're about to leave to the next generation.
Yep.
So they're lobbying right now to get the market to tank. So that way, the people that's about to pass that money on to their kids, they can get it at a cheap price. The next 20, 30 years, watch it rise up. So that way, when their kids come along, they already get passing the bag. Black folks, we don't do that. We don't think like that.
We don't. We don't even teach. We have a bad thing of teaching our kids ourselves about credit. We don't talk about
it.
We don't talk about it's forbidden to talk about finances within our community. No, we should be able to discuss finances. Like, hey yo,
exactly.
You keep saying you broke. What's wrong? Come on, let me see your finances so I can help you out on how to get out this financial hole. We don't do that. We rather just sad to say, hey man, this is my problem. I don't want nobody saying how down we are. No, get off the social media stuff. Stop looking at seeing how people are living well and just focus on your finances. And
and that's another thing I want to mention. Never compare your 1 to somebody else's 10. Yep. A lot of people, they get discouraged because they see people at certain levels. They watching how they move, and then they wondering why they're not at that level. Just look at them and learn from them. And don't compare your 1 or your 3 to their 7 or their 10. Just learn from them, implement it, incorporate it, and develop your own plan, but use what they're teaching you. That's why I document my process on YouTube.
Okay.
Somebody that's coming behind me, they can be like, Stock Market Charlie did this, Stock Market Charlie did that. They can use that knowledge, use my plan, and develop their own plan along the way too.
Now, I'm definitely going to tap in. In because I feel like with me, I want to get better at it. I want to learn the stock market. I want to learn not just about stock market. I want to get better just financial
literacy, yeah.
Just being able to know like, hey, I can live this way. Bring back, not even if I have my own plan of 50-40, you know what I'm saying? 50-40-10. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Have my own plan of how I do my budget, but then also be able to invest in the stock market,
exactly.
even if it's this amount. Hey, then I can watch it grow or watch it, however, and learn enough when I see some on the ticker, I can see it how I see stats of an NFL game, basketball game.
Exactly.
You show me stats of a basketball game. I could dare to tell you who won. You show me the numbers on the stock market, plus and minuses, and I'm confused.
And that's how I am. I don't really know too much about the sports because I've been so tapped into the market. But like you said, they can show you everything on what's that app called that Jamie Foxx got? The
Oh, you
sports
talking about
bet.
the fan? I got FanDuel. You got the
Yeah.
Bet MGM. Yeah, I got all them on my phone.
But I can pull up my phone and let you know what's going on in that market, though, man.
I can't even log into Robinhood right now. I know I got about $20 on Robinhood and some Doge right now, just hoping it take off to the moon.
And that's where it starts, man. That's what my book is about. I got into the stock market with just $14. That's all I had, and here it is 3 years later. I'm up over 340,000 as of today.
I'm
So
trying to get that.
it just takes consistency, believing in yourself, and taking a leap of faith. And that's what more black people got to start doing. That's why we're behind. White folks, Asian folks, they've always been into the markets. They've always done investing. That's why I mentioned sometimes you got to become a minimalist. You got to you got to know the difference between wants and needs. Yeah, you can go buy these Jordans every week. Yeah, you can stop at Starbucks every day and buy this cup of coffee. But do you really need that? Or if you're going to go buy that cup of coffee every day, why not invest in Starbucks?
Invest in them.
Because you put money in them anyway, get a little of that money back. But people just got to realize the difference between wants and needs. This is an era, especially with the recession. If you're not budgeting and looking at where your money's going and how you spending it, it's about to be a tough time for you. Like,
Trump
if you
said
don't,
that.
yeah, if you don't believe me, go back to 100 years ago when the Great Depression happened. That's another thing. History always repeats itself. Look what happened to those people back then that wasn't prepared, that wasn't knowledgeable with financial literacy. They were almost destroyed. So you just got to stay informed, brother.
You
That's
say
it.
100 years ago. I say what? 5 years when COVID? Well, almost 5 years when COVID hit.
Yeah.
Almost 5 years ago. Like it's cycles.
Yep.
And the cycle is showing once again what's about to happen. And I had a conversation with one of my relatives, and I was just like, I want to see the stock market drop so I can buy, not on some selfish reason. She was like, don't get into stocks. You're going to lose money. No, I should get into stocks so I can gain money.
Yeah. Capitalism. It's capitalism.
Like, and then, I look at the tariffs. My only concern is with these tariffs, though, is in the stock market, because the tariffs, you say otherwise, but how MSNBC is portraying it is like the tariffs is affecting the stock market.
It definitely is.
Okay, so my concern is, as a consumer, just with Donald Trump, man, do something to protect the consumers. Like, sign an executive order where we don't have to, prices can be held. Like, they can't charge us the tariff. The tariffs. Don't pass the tariffs on to us.
Yeah. So what Donald Trump is doing, man, it's a whole nother side to that. He know if he's able to get the economy to tank a little bit, if he's able to get the market to tank a little. That's why he'd say one thing, I'm going to do this. Then he'd come back, I'm going to put a pause on that. That's manipulating the market. So what he's trying to do, right now we have Fed Jerome Powell. He's his own man. He don't move based on how the president wants him to move. And if you're not knowing what the Federal Reserve is, pretty much the Federal Reserve is who hikes rates, who lowers interest rates. They control all of that. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to get Jerome Powell to move the way he wants him to move. But Jerome Powell, he's an economist. He's worrying about all of the citizens. Trump is only worrying about a certain, like you say, a class of folks. So they continuously battling, man. Powell's best interest is for all of us. Trump is for the 1%er. So that's just how you got to look at that situation. But if he get the market to fall down enough, Jerome Powell, he has to do something that's going to either lower the interest rates.
Okay.
So that way consumers, we can still afford things. If things get too out of control, like when the pullback now, they might hike rates. And, it's just you got to look at those dynamics as well.
To me, it's a lot to look at. It's
economy.
It's foreign language to me. It's foreign language. But you say you are the you know how to read that language. You know how to understand that language, and then once again, going back to the Black Investors Coalition, tapping in with you. Now I feel like everybody should do that.
Oh yeah.
Everybody should tap in with you. What would be some of the biggest takeaways you think, just as newbies, what they can get from you?
The biggest takeaway anybody can take from me is first, whether you get into the stock market or not, I want people just to become financially literate, people to learn estate planning, people to know what generational wealth building. I said in one of my videos earlier that I record for my own podcast, I mentioned Angie Stone. All that money that woman made, but because she didn't have an estate plan, a will, a generational wealth plan, you see how Tyler Perry he had to pay for her funeral, all that because
That came and took
after
it
she
off.
passed away, it wasn't no plan in place to protect her money. So
It just sits so it's just sitting there somewhere.
somewhere just sitting. And black folks, we got to start planning generational wealth building for the people that come after us. We never really do that. I mean, of course, NBA players and actors, rappers, but everyday people can do those things too. And an estate plan, it's having a will, a trust, just an overall view of what you want to do with your finances, your insurance that you're leaving behind, like after you pass, all those things, you can set your family up for success. And that's becoming financial literate.
So
So
your biggest, and you said it like 10 times this pod already, is financial literacy, and
financial literacy,
I
man.
really rock with it. And as you were sitting here talking, I was over here thinking, I have a, and this is where all of this is a challenge. This is my personal challenge. I'm gonna do it myself. So I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but I'm probably doing it within like next couple months. But I might do it in June. Do it in June.
Hmm.
The best way to test out how the money versus stock market versus savings, I'm gonna put 500 in a CD. I'm just gonna put 500 in a 1 year CD, 500 in a 1 year CD, and 500 in the stock market. I'm not gonna touch neither one
Let's just see what it do.
and see what it do.
And I guarantee you that stock market is gonna outperform that
Cause the
other
CD is
yeah.
set. The CD is set though, and like I think it's like a zero. It's
Mhm.
like a 0.1 or 2%. So I'm gonna see.
Yep.
In a year, just $1,000. I'm gonna divide that 1,500. Just see.
And I guarantee you
That
what you
five
invest
might
in the
become
market.
might come like $700-800.
Yep.
Take that 3 out, leave that 5 in there, and watch it grow some
Yeah.
more.
Exactly. That's what the game is all about, man. Like you said, you invest your money into the stock market. Christmas time come around, you already know at the beginning of the year or when you got your taxes, I put this money into QQQ or VOO. Come December, I already know the stock market is going to be running high. I capitalize. I already got the money for my kids' Christmas gifts or whatever else. You keep that money invested 20, 30 years, or let's say you got a grandkid or even one of your own kids, they're ready to go to college. You already got that money set aside and planned out for them to go to college.
And then
'Cause you
stock,
invested it.
and then stocks are transferable, right?
Yeah, you
Like
can
you can leave stocks to somebody else,
leave them
like,
to somebody else. Yeah.
and that way, as we get older, dang, you can have it set where, instead of, retire age, some of us, we still got 30, 40 years ago, but instead of us retiring, taking all our stocks out, leave about 20% in and just let it continue to grow.
And that's generational wealth building because you're passing things on to the people that's coming behind you. That's what it's all about, man. And that's what our race, why we're behind, why we're not as successful as other races, because they've already been doing this. A lot of black folks, they're just now gaining knowledge and wanting to get into this now when we should have been in this so long ago. We got to get out of that pulling people down, that crab in the bucket mentality. That's one of our biggest setbacks, man. So,
We all look at what the next person got, try to pull them down to get to where they're going.
yep.
Instead of it, but it could go two way too though, because it's a lot of us have the knowledge, but don't want to share it, and that's why I like that you're coming on trying to share the process.
Yeah,
You're
like,
sharing the process because it's holding on to it doesn't help the community grow.
like for example, some people they gonna support me regardless. Like they gonna go on my website and they're gonna buy my course or they're gonna buy my book. But even on my Facebook, it's posted, it's pinned to the page. I have the access code to get it for free. I'm not no person that's gonna hold nobody back from information. I got so much knowledge in my head. I got to get it out. So I love sharing it with folks. So that way I can move on to something else and put something new in my head. I'm like a computer, bro. I do so much reading, tapping into knowledge. I feel that that's unfair to have knowledge that can advance other folks and not share that with them. So that's why I do the YouTube page. Whether you buy a course or not, just going on my YouTube, you're going to learn information on how to navigate in the stock market because I put all the information out there.
And when you go visit that page, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, definitely.
Make sure you go to that YouTube page, hit that subscribe button.
Yes, sir.
And hit that star to get notified every time a new video drop.
Because I drop every day, man. For real, I drop game. I drop a lot of game, bro. I got these series on my YouTube. It's called Escaping the Residues of Poverty. That's one of my biggest series on my YouTube. I'm 9 episodes in. I started out, I believe my first episode was People, Places, and Things.
Okay.
And the reason why I named it that because once you surround yourself with the right people, once you start going to the right places, and once you start doing the right things, your life changes. But it's a reverse side to that too. If you still dealing with the wrong people, doing the wrong things, going to the wrong places, you're not going to go anywhere. So that's why I started that series, The Residues of Poverty, to get people thinking differently. And sometimes you got to let people go.
That's
if
the
they
hard
on
part
the
in
same
life.
path as you, if they're not willing to take the steps you're doing, they can hold you back. Some people you got to leave behind and surround yourself with new people. So
that's the hard thing in life is letting people go.
Man.
It's letting people go, but sometimes you gotta let people go to get to the next level.
Get to the next level. Yep.
But then I just feel like, man, the stock market game. I really want to play. I really want. It's Monopoly.
Get in it, bro,
it's Monopoly. It's jump in. Come on. Every time you pass, go collect $200.
Yep.
And I feel like you just said, everybody get that tax check. Most people get that tax check. When you get that tax check, set aside just even a $500, $200. You don't gotta do the whole tax check. You just gotta do a press, like you say, 5-10%. You say you was doing 15%.
And then I went up to 70.
That's not a lot. Like you got 10% of $100 is $10.
Exactly.
So the same. And the 401k is a stock.
If you want to quit smoking, and you spending $60-$70 a week on a carton of cigarettes, instead of spending that 60 or 70 on that carton, put it towards an ETF, put it towards a stock. That's gonna help you build money as well as you know where your money's going. It ain't going on that carton of cigarettes no more.
So I got one question. This question, honestly, I always do that. But this question is this.
Mm-hmm.
Is it stupid for someone when they quit a job and they got so much in their 401k to close it out and spend it?
And spend it?
Yeah, because I do that every time I quit a job in my 401k. I mean, is it dumb? Everybody say it's dumb, but you know.
What I do from the jobs that I've had previously, I just transfer their 401k or their Roth to the new job and or to the brokerage. Like after I leave that job, Fidelity's, even though I have other brokerage accounts, Fidelity is my main one and my bank is my main one. I just recently got my LLC so that way I can start buying assets under the LLC.
Okay.
I just transferred, like when I was working at Stellantis, when they laid us off, I just transferred that 401k to my Roth IRA with Fidelity.
Okay.
That way I didn't lose any money. It's still doing, because like when you cash in a 401k or Roth IRA or IRA early, you lose money on it. You don't want to lose that. Yeah,
they tax it. They tax it. I know it's like a 30% tax.
Yep.
Nah, because I'm gonna challenge myself next year. I think Roth IRA is capped at like $20,000 a year.
I believe if you have a business, you can put a little bit more to it. But if I'm not mistaken, for an individual, it's only like maybe 75 to 8,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I said I'm gonna do is I want to go live so minimalistic where I cap it out 1 year.
Hmm.
Just cap it out, and
I
that
cap it out every year.
like just cap it out and
Yeah.
just till I can't go anymore, and just
Hmm.
at least if I'm able to do that for at least a year or 2 years, and then just watch it just continue to grow, watch it grow.
And that, like I say, a Roth IRA or 401k, it's designed, it's already going to have stocks with dividend payments. It's already going to do compounding interest. So if you put 10,000, let's just say if you, like you said, you cap that out in 2 years, and then you just decide I ain't even gonna put no more money into it, and by that time you got 14,000 that's working for you. By the time you're 60, 70, that's 14,000 you put in the market and you forgot about. You 60, 70, that 14,000 and turned into 300,000.
Off top,
That's something you can leave to, like you say, a grandchild, a kid, or just use it to
go on the trip,
go on a trip, whatever you want to
retire.
do.
You do whatever you want to do.
People got to start thinking more like that. You're not going to get an immediate reward from the stock market
No.
unless you just a trained trader, options trader. But right now, everything is like they have these quants now. So for trading, it's not as good as it used to be for day traders because the quants, they're way faster than what a human can do. So unless you just got money, a lot of money you can put into a hedge fund, one of them $1 billion hedge fund, you're not gonna do better than a quant. So just like I say, invest in a mutual fund, an exchange traded fund,
Okay.
our overall fund or sector, and some individual stocks.
What kind of piqued my interest was about the stock market was the movie The Big Short.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite
Gave a
movies.
lot of game.
That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite movies. And then yeah. So what's the one with Leonardo when he was a stalker?
Oh, that's the Wolf of Wall
The Wolf
Street.
of Wall Street.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
too, but that's how you commit fraud. But
And they teaching you in those movies, like you said, The Big Short. If people ain't never seen that, watch that because the movie explains what happened in 2008 when we had the Great Recession. Pretty much, uh, institutional investors, the people with the money, lobbying. That's why I mentioned lobbying. They were able to go to people that rate bonds, do the different ratings on it, and the housing market. They paid them millions of dollars to say, "Hey, this is a triple A rating bond." So that's going to make people buy it because that's a triple A bond.
it was worth
I'm
shit.
going to invest in it. But what they didn't realize, they were creating, like you said, fraud bonds and CDOs. So when the market crashed, the housing market, the whole system just collapsed.
But then they got saved.
Yeah, they got
They got
nobody went to jail that was supposed to go to jail.
So they say like only one person went to
Yeah,
jail.
one person. He was the smallest fish out of everybody. He really wasn't doing it on the level like institutional. When I mention institutional, I'm meaning like
JP Morgan and all that.
yeah, BlackRock, Blackstone, Berkshire had people that got billions and billions of dollars invested. They able to manipulate the market.
We still never heard more about that JP Morgan boat that had all that cocaine and stuff on there.
Yeah,
we still never heard nothing about that. Like
that just was washed under the table for real.
I'm still worried to this day, like what happened with that boat that had all these drugs on there that got caught by the Coast Guard.
Yep.
And just
washed under the table,
nothing,
bro. Yep.
nothing, not at all. Like that lets you know that drugs are being flooded into the cities.
Yep.
By the government, but that's
they bring it in. Yeah, they the one got the ships. They got the airplanes. So
they got all the docks on lock and everything.
For real.
But what you gotta say? Anything you gotta say for the people?
My thing is, y'all, if you don't come from a wealthy family, make sure a wealthy family comes from you. And that's why I said we got to change the way we think about things. We got to really start tapping into economics, really start tapping into what's going on in the markets. We got to start positioning ourselves because A lot of people don't realize that when Trump was elected, it's a new world order now. Like racism is one thing, but everything that the government had worked for before, meaning having monopolies and things like that, he's doing away with all that. So that way, the rich, they just gonna continue to get richer. He looks at this country as he wants to be the king. A president is for the people. You're supposed to be the people that we elect, the people that we vote for as our official. They're supposed to work for us. We're not supposed to work for them. So until black people, that's why I say blacks overall, until we start voting, taking things more seriously, getting out of all that entertainment stuff and start tapping into information that makes the world move, we're always going to be left behind. We got to start knowing what's going on in the economy. We got to start buying stuff and owning it. So that way we can do like the Italians, do like the Jews, do like the white folks, do like the Arabics. We got our own class of money. We can support our own communities. We can get out of the mindset of living just off what the government, food stamps, assistance that they give us. If you don't come from a wealthy family, make sure a wealthy family come from you. For real.
Hey, I can't. Hey, that's the truth. That's a fact.
That's the facts, bro.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on.
Hey, I bless you,
And,
brother.
and I don't want it. I don't want this to be the last time. I want this to be many more. Sorry for that. My flickering. I tried to switch. I tried to switch. Hey, everybody watching. I tried to switch the capture card, but the new one, the audio was not working with the new one. I got to figure that out. So, but other than that, man, I want to thank you for coming on once again. Another round of applause.
Hey, I appreciate you, bro. This was a blessing to me.
We gotta get that right. Gotta get that right.
This was a blessing.
I want to say thank you for one of a whole lot on that platform, and really, I want to continue to see you grow, continue to see you go reach new levels. If you ever have anything planned as far as like a seminar or anything, you want to have like a rent out a building or anything like that. Well, if you do anything like that, we have like a meet. What are they called? Seminars?
You know, event seminars.
Yeah.
Like I do have an annual meeting coming up at the end of the year.
Okay.
Because it'll be my first year under my business, so I'm doing the Black Investors Coalition annual meeting. I just haven't came up with the date. I'm gonna guess about December, maybe October, December, and then I have my launch party. That'll actually be this month on the 25th. So
okay,
I'm still working on the venue to have it at, but I will be putting that on my social medias, and it will be on my website exactly where that's gonna be at.
Yeah, because I want to tap in. You know, I definitely want to. I'm gonna definitely buy your book. I'm gonna definitely do things, follow you, and I'm gonna definitely try to grow my wealth. And I'm gonna let you know the journey. I'm gonna let you know the journey. You know, you gotta have a testimonial. So you know, I'm be on a testimonial page. Like, hey, whole lot of that came from this to
that. We identify the problem, bro. Well, we identify the problem and we find the solution, and that's what I did. I wanted to inform people about the market. I knew people wasn't as informed, as knowledgeable as they should be. That's what made me write the book, and then that's what led me to creating the course. Identified the problem. Now I'm selling a solution to people that want to tap into the information, change their life.
And what your shirt say?
This is assets over liabilities, man. Assets over liability. If you're familiar with the brothers, Earn Your Leisure, they're on YouTube.
Yep.
This is one of their brands of their shirts.
EYL.
The master investor, if y'all familiar with him, Ian Dunlap, he's from Indiana. He's one of the top investors there is in the game, period.
I know he be on the Breakfast Club, and he also been on the Joe Budden podcast. So yeah, I know I rock with them. Hey, that's gonna be you. That's gonna be you.
I'm on the way, bro. I'm on the way.
We claiming that. We claiming that. It's gonna be you. But once again, I want to thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you.
Told a lot on that podcast. You know, I was over thinking about one song I should play.
If I play some Heat.
Nah, I ain't about to play no Heat. Nah, this ain't even if I want. I probably. Oh. Nope. I was trying to find that money, 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 money.
Hey, that's what it's about.
Money. I could not find. We're gonna play the OJ's for the love of money. Cause we all love that money.
For real.
You already know what time. This is a whole lot of that podcast. We out, baby. Hey, we out,
man. Appreciate you.
Nah, that was it.
Yeah, that's it.
Sorry about that. I bought this capture card. It's gonna work. That you left. That you leave.